Audiobook Academy. Book Summary. Orlando Furioso. By Ludovico Ariosto. Ludovico Ariosto's chivalric epic Orlando Furioso is widely regarded as one of the greatest works of literature in Italian and European history. It was composed in Italian utilizing octave and hendecasyllable and consists of 46 cantos. As of 1516, there were 40 cantos in the book. After the second publication in 1521, the author revised and improved the epic poem until publishing the final version in 1532. Characters and plot lines don't follow one another in this novel. This poem has three major plot lines: Orlando's love for Angelica, Charlemagne's conflict with the Saracens, or Ruggiero and Bradamante's love for each other. As a sequel to Orlando Innamorato by Boiardo, the plot of this film follows the events of the original story. Many characters and their attributes were taken up by Ariosto. Because the chivalric epics were popular in medieval France, Ariosto's epic is older than Boiardo's. If we consider the topics of the epics, Italian epic poems were also influenced by the French epics because of the popularity of the caroling cycle. Numerous translations and publications of Orlando Furioso were made. In the works of other Italian and certain Spanish authors, his parts are frequently developed. The story begins in the 8th century with Charlemagne's war with the Saracens, which he won. Agramant, ruler of Africa and Spain, was in charge of the Saracens. They were exacting vengeance on Agramant's killers for the death of his father. As a result of the Saracens' success in driving the Christian army all the way to Paris, the siege of that city has officially begun. It served as the backdrop for all of the other events in the story. Many characters pop up as the story shifts from one subplot to another. Among the many characters are Orlando, Rinaldo, Angelica, Bradamante, Medoro, the Saracen Medoro, the English knight Astolfo, and the Saracen Medoro, among many others. Angelica's escape from Charlemagne's prison is the beginning of their love tale. For her affections, Orlando and Rinaldo engaged in a duel. When Orlando brought Angelica to the Christians' hideout, things quickly went bad from there because Rinaldo, Orlando's cousin, had fallen head over heels in love with her as well. To reward the most effective knight in the fight against pagans, Charlemagne chose to give his hand in marriage to him. Rinaldo, Orlando, and Angelica's relationships are fraught with complication. Even though she used to love him, Angelica now despises Rinaldo. Her love for Rinaldo blossomed after she drank from a love well, but his hatred for her was fueled by drinking from a hate well. After that, they swapped out the wells and their emotions followed suit. Like Orlando, Rinaldo had been enamored with Angelica. Both of them begin a desperate search for her affections as soon as she leaves their side of town. On his journey to find Angelica, Rinaldo, he encounters a lot of difficulties, but in the end, he drinks from a magical source and loses his love. Battles were utilized by Angelica to flee and return to her family. They came upon a Saracen knight while traveling with Rinaldo. She fled as he and Rinaldo got into a fight. A second man in love with her appeared in front of her as she rushed away, and his name was Sacripante. Rinaldo catches up to her and the two fight in a new combat. She's off again. Charlemagne dispatched Rinaldo to Britannia because the Saracens were advancing on them. And Rinaldo's sister Bradamante, who is in love with Ruggiero, is out there looking for someone to love her, as well. She learned that he was being taken prisoner in the Pyrenees after asking around. She saves him with the help of a magician and a magic ring. On the Hippogriff, Ruggiero flew to Alcine, where he met Orlando and Rinaldo, and Astolfo, the bewitched. Ruggiero was seduced by Alcina's charms as well. After thinking about Angelica, Orlando makes the decision to go out and find her. To get past the Parisian guards, he disguised himself as a pagan knight. He then set out to find her in the middle of the night. Ruggiero found Angelica, who had been hiding, in the meantime. She was on the verge of being sacrificed when Ruggiero intervened and saved her. In their conflicts with the Saracens, the Christians were able to demonstrate their strength in some way. In her haste to flee, Angelica came upon a wounded sheep named Medoro, and she chose to take care of him. To commemorate their wedding day, they had their names inscribed in the bark of an oak tree. Seeing the two names carved into the tree, Orlando understood that she was gone for good. Angry, Orlando pulled off his clothes and wandered the streets. Finally, Ruggiero and Astolfo were able to break free of the spells. In the end, Orlando was saved by Astolfo, who was flying the Hippogriff towards the moon. He transported Orlando's brain back to Orlando after finding it in a bottle there. It wasn't long until Orlando passed out and woke up in the middle of the night. Agramant was beaten in Africa after Orlando and Astolfo banded together. Meanwhile, Ruggiero joined the Saracens and fought Rinaldo. Ruggiero fled to a lonely island after the Saracens attacked the Christians and converted to Christianity there. Orlando saved his life. Bradamante was able to spend time with Ruggiero when he converted to Christianity. One of the most important Christian enemies was also killed by him. Ariosto wanted to build a name for the d'Este family he had just married into. In the midst of it all, Paris was still under siege from the French. Although Agramant attempted to destroy the city by setting fire to it, a downpour of rain intervened and prevented more damage. Then the story takes an unexpected turn. Siege breakers are defeated by Rinaldo's Christian army at his command. Many of the scenes are so detailed that they could be considered mini-novels in their own right. Tales of heroic knights, lovers in battle, magic, castles, and adventures can all be found in these collections. Orlando, one of the Christian warriors. As he fought the Saracens, he was tormented by his feelings for Angelica, whom he adored. He finally found her after spending a considerable amount of time searching for her. He was enraged and made the decision to travel the world for the rest of his days. Astolfo, an English knight, reclaimed his knowledge. Biography of Ludovico Ariosto. Renaissance poet Ludovico Ariosto is from Italy. Because of his father's employment in Ferrara, he and his entire family moved to Reggio Emilia in 1474, the year he was born. Having grown up in aristocracy, he developed an appreciation for art and literature. For his father's sake, he tried to finish law school, but his interest in literature and the relaxed atmosphere of his father's home prevented him from finishing. After the death of his father, he became an official of the d'Este family in order to provide for his family. Between 1503 to 1517, he served as Ippolito d'Este's secretary, a position he later left. Still living with the d'Estes, he went to work for his childhood friend, Count Alfonso d'Este. A few years later, he was elected governor, where he has proven to be trustworthy, resourceful, and collected. He was given additional, more senior roles, but he turned them down because he wasn't feeling well physically. He also wrote the comedies Caceria, I Suppositi, and Il Negromant, as well as a book of poems, in addition to Orlando Furioso. In 1533, he died to tuberculosis. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.